Hi folks, Brent here, co-founder of Impact Consulting and Training. Yep, we're back for another video. I want to thank you guys. The video from my last video about Seattle got 151 views. I'm looking at notes, so I was really happy with that turnout on that video. So I want to thank you very much for that side of things. Just want to give you an update on what's happening right now, real briefly. The coronavirus is still out there on the planet, so remember to stay safe out there. Don't get lazy right now. Now is not a time to do that. And they're projecting that it's going to come back again during the fall and the flu season back in the fall. So I got some information out of China, and I want to give that to you. So China's having a really hard time too. They've locked down Beijing. I've got somebody. I got a couple of people on the inside. Some of you guys have known that I've traveled there when I worked in my last major company. So I still have that network there and still getting information out from there. The thing that I'm hearing is there are major floods happening in a certain province of China, wiping out a lot of agricultural crops and stuff like this, and also locust swarms. So with this U.S.-China trade deal where they're going to be sending all of this food over there, in essence, they have no choice. They got to feed their people somehow. So with that being said, you know, everything's in a good part. America's in a better situation than what China's in right now. So we're in a good spot. So no worries there. Okay. So from my last video, a couple of people sent me some private messages, and I picked out one question that was asked to me because it really hit home for me. And this is what I'm going to talk about today, very briefly. I don't think it's going to be a long video like it was last time. Zsolt Veres. He's Hungarian. Obviously, we live over here in Hungary. The company is based over here in Hungary. He sent in a question. Let me read it to you. Zsolt, I want to thank you very much for sending in this question. It's a good question. It's a good question. So let me read it verbatim, and I'll also edit this. I'll put the picture into the YouTube video when I do the editing side. So the question is, hey, brother, I guess you have a deeper knowledge than myself about what's going on in the U.S. Who is behind the happenings? What's going on? Do they really want a civil war there? So this is what I wanted to talk to you about. No, I don't have a deeper knowledge. I just have my opinion, and from traveling around the world and working with different organizations and dealing with different people and stuff like this, I have my own idea, my own opinions and stuff like this. So our company, Impact Consulting and Training, has to do with leadership, organizational development, and stuff like this. And you keep hearing me say in my last videos, it's a failure of leadership. Well, it is. It's a massive failure of leadership. So what's being talked about right now, I want to, again, Zsolt, thank you for the question. It was a really, really good question. Nobody wants a civil war. Okay, nobody wants a civil war. The thing is that it really boils down to two issues. Money and selfish politicians. That's what it goes towards. And depend on where you go to or who you talk to and stuff like this, or who you listen to from the media perspective. Individuals make up their mind on information that they get on the media and stuff like this, and what's being told to them by politicians or in corporate life, leaders and stuff like this. These people, the politicians, are trying to get a vote, okay? So they're going to tell you anything they want to tell you. And what that does is initially it grows, okay? So when that grows, that ideology grows, those beliefs grow in individuals, and they go into tribal thinking, tribal mindsets and stuff like this. So this is what you're seeing right now. You've got a very separated America, but what you're not hearing about is that America is about 320 million population right now, and you're only hearing about this stuff in certain regions of America. So America is very big, and the whole country is not divided. It's just the media, social media, the news media outlets out there make their money on ratings, and they try to punch people in the face with their opinion pieces and the videos that they show. And you guys know this too. I mean, there's examples all over the internet about this. Some media groups will sit there and doctor videos that have been taken, and they'll put it up, and it'll make people really angry and stuff like this. Other medias do the same thing. This is why I suggest that you look around for uh, smaller media programs that are trying to make it. So, the Fox News and the CNN and the Reuters and RT Network and Al Jazeera, these things, they're talking about their own narratives, their own belief systems, and they all have followers. And if they can keep those followers, okay, they're going to keep making their money. That's basically what it boils down to. But the answer of why this is happening is because of money and selfish politicians. So it's not leadership. It's literally, individuals in positions of authority that want to make it for themselves, and they don't give a shit about you or anybody else. They may say it, they may talk nicely about it, but they just don't give a shit about you. And that's the reality. They want to make their money. They want to increase their stock shares, the prices and stuff like this. So that's the reality of what's happening right now. If you take a step back, it gets more complicated the deeper that you go down the rabbit hole. Of course it does. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm giving you a helicopter perspective of what's happening. But to get to this root problem, we got to know what the root problem is. And one is selfish politicians, and two is money. So this is what we've got to work on, not the individual side of things. We got to work on the selfish politicians, corporate leaders as well, okay? And we got to deal with the money side of things. This is what we have to work with. This is exactly what we have to work with. So when I say selfish politicians, I'm also talking about executives in corporations and stuff like this. The people are just tools for them. When people say that, oh, you're very valuable for us and stuff like this, the value is what you make the company. And I'm talking money, okay? The value is what you make the company, and that equals money. That is where you get hired or fired. Now, if you've got pussy leaders, okay, and you challenge that leadership, okay, you challenge those decisions that they make, or you challenge their mindset and stuff like this, they become afraid, but they're in positions of authority. So instead of actually trying to work with you to come up with a solution, okay, what they'll do is the easiest way to get rid of the problem. They'll fire you. Same thing happened in my last major organization. So this is the thing. They don't like to be challenged. And then you hear organizations say, oh, but we're a flat organization. Well, what's a flat organization? It's just removing management. It's still hierarchical, okay? And it's still authoritarian by nature. As soon as a company hires its first employee, they're no longer a flat organization. Now you've got managers and you've got employees, and the managers or the owners have the ability to hire and fire. If you say something that they don't like, they're going to fire you. Well, with the politicians, what's happening in the world now with all of this stuff right now, nobody was listening. So these people are rising up. Do I like it? Absolutely, I don't like it. No way. Do they have the right to protest? Absolutely. Do they have the right to be heard? Absolutely. But when leaders don't listen and just push everything under the carpet, again, they refuse to talk about the elephant in the room, okay? These issues just keep growing and growing and growing. And when they grow, they foment, they spread anger, they spread bad information and stuff like this. And again, the leaders literally don't care because they're talking about the workforce out there. We'll fire you and we'll replace you with somebody else. Okay? So that's what's happening. That's what's happened politically speaking. That's what's happening in America right now. Nobody's been listening. Is it right what they're doing? Speaking up, freedom of speech, protesting in an adult manner is right. Okay? I'm not taking that away. But when you start destroying things, destroying livelihoods, beating up people that think differently than you, okay, or have a different belief system in you, that is not the way to resolve issues. Now, will there be a civil war? No, there's not going to be a civil war. There's just too much stuff going on. Will there still be anger? Will there still be violence? Absolutely. So we're in a bigger war right now globally with what's happening. You know, the coronavirus, the economic side of things, the trade stuff that's happening and stuff like this. So we're in a much bigger, more complicated scenario than what's just happening in America. And believe me, it's not just happening in America. It's happening in Europe. It's happening in the Asia Pacific area. It's happening all over the world, guys. So it's everybody's getting at the end of the rope. They're tired. Everybody's tired of not being listened to. Now, what you're still trying to see, and again, this isn't leadership. These leaders, these political leaders, are coming back with pacification. Yes, we're going to do this. Yes, we're going to do this. Yes, they're going to do this. But how many actually mean what they say? Not a lot. Not a lot. It's very rare. They're just going to give you a pacifier. That's all they're going to do. They're not going to actually resolve the problems. They want to get back to normal. And then people are going to get lazy again, and they're going to go back to sleep, and they're going to go, here we go. And the more you do this to a person, you're just going to stop fighting about it, and you're going to say, here we go again, here we go again. Well, the only way to change that is to maintain that stamina, maintain that pressure in a responsible way, okay? And that doesn't mean going out and torching and killing people and beating people up and destroying storefronts. That's not the way to do it, okay? Because now what you're doing is you are raising the bar. And believe me, in America, okay, that can be stopped very, very quickly, all right, with influx of police reserves, National Guard units with the support of active duty military and stuff like this. So there is some training that we get in the military in reference to all of this stuff, crowd control and stuff like this. There are non-lethal defensive things out there for crowd control, like LIDAR, LIDAR I think is what it's called, where they send microwaves downrange and it disperses the people. So it breaks them up. So you haven't even seen half of what's out there for crowd control yet. So the thing is, as soon as these politicians or these leaders literally start thinking about you as an individual, okay, nothing's going to change. As soon as you get these leaders that are selfless, okay, they don't think about the money so much. They think about making the community better, the environment better, and stuff like this. The money will come in naturally from that side of things. So it's the turning of the system. It's not going to be a civil war, not the way that we envision it. There's people still going to be hurt, okay, and this is just going to happen. But when we come out on the other side of this, okay, people are going to wake up. Politicians are going to wake up. Leaders will wake up. And you're starting to see that right now. So you're not hearing so much about riots anymore. You're not hearing so much about statues being torn down right now. I mean, is it happening and stuff like this? I'm sure it is in some places, but it's not major news because these are just smaller groups of people. But the good thing is all these angry voices are being seen, and now they're being tracked, and they can see the dissension in the population, the population of America, and they can track these people. So the technology out there is to track these people and find these people and keep an eye on these people. It's a changing world. It's definitely a changing world, and we're in the middle of it. You're part of history now, guys. So again, what are you going to do? What's going to be your legacy in this history? Are you an instigator, a provocateur? Are you giving your voice to find solutions? Are you a motivator, an inspirator? This is what you got to decide from. Can't really listen to the news medias out there because they're so extreme to the left and right. But if you have the ability to listen to both sides of the story, you'll be able to come up to a middle ground of what's really happening out there. So this is why I watch a lot of smaller TV channels as well. You can find them all over if you Google them and stuff like this. And collect all that information, how people are being talked and what they're reporting from different angles, okay? And then come up with your own solution. Don't be that person that leans to the left or far to the right. Be educated. Be smart about it. A lot of this stuff is it's going to go away, and it's starting to go down. You heard the mayor, was it the mayor or the governor of Washington State? People have been killed in there, okay? And now she's saying, okay, maybe it's not going to be a summer of love, okay? So they got to go in there. So what's going to happen with that? Well, the other side of that, the people in there are actually starting to say, okay, well, this is over. This is over. So now you've got a negotiating point right here, okay? So they ramped up, the government ramped up its pressure, the police is ramping up its pressure, okay? And the demonstrators, the protesters, the agitators, the violent people, okay, have reduced theirs. So we start negotiating from this side of things. So things are happening. Things are moving forward. Things are on the decline. No matter what you see on TV, things are starting to calm down and stuff like this. So keep your heads up. Everything's going to be fine. Things are going to be changing for sure. Coronavirus is still on the planet. Okay? So keep your head on your shoulders straight. I'll do a link in the video. Up there, I think, is where it pops up for my last video. And if you want to watch the series on survival, I'll also link that up there. I think it'll come up here somewhere as well. Do us a favor, please. It's really helping out. I mean, the channel is growing. Please come in and give us a thumbs up or subscribe to us on our channels and stuff like this. I'll put all the information in the comment section below, description below, after I'm done finishing editing this video. And again, we really appreciate your time with this. Again, we're Impact Consulting and Training. We talk about the elephant in the room because we know this is where we can make a good impact into your organization. Don't be afraid. Be brave and look at it. Let's figure this out together, okay? Nobody has those answers. So my name's Brent, co-founder of Impact Consulting and Training. Again, we appreciate your time. Sooner or later, we'll get my partner in here too, and we'll be able to talk to both of us. So keep your head up. Things are going to get better. We do appreciate all of your time and all of the views. So we'll talk to you later. And fist bump, boom. Keep your heads up, guys. It'll get better. It'll get better. Have a good one.